All right, gamers, today we have, we're actually finishing off every boss. We beat every main boss for the most part, but we haven't beat every side boss. And then, after we do all that, we're gonna be doing a tier list of them all. That's the plan, at least. So, hopefully, the ones that we haven't done are not too bad. I don't think they will be. But you know, there might be like a mesmer hidden somewhere in a cave or whatever. I have no idea. Anyways, let's do it. First try, oh! GG, well played. I'm pretty sure that's the last boss. Alright, now we actually did kill everyone. Feels good, baby. Feels good. Okay, we're gonna do a tier list of all the bosses. Just kind of how cool they are. Difficulty is definitely gonna be like a factor, but like sometimes a boss is like also just really sick and fun to play against. Sometimes like the atmosphere around them is like really good. And then sometimes like it's just like they're annoying to fight, they don't feel like cool to fight, and then you're just like, why am I here? For example, there's a lot of bosses that are like, they don't feel like they're actually a boss. They're just like homework to do. A good example of that is the freaking Deathrite bird. You're just like walking in the overworld and he like jumps on you, and then you don't even have to fight him. Like those bosses like that are just like instant Fs. I'm not even gonna lie. They're kind of dog shit. Other Ghost Flame dragons. Most dragons are just gonna go in F as well. Despite the fact that I love dragons, in Elden Ring they're just absolute dog shit. Dragon Man goes a little higher though. He goes in E. I don't know. It was cool. He like gets summoned at like one point in the game, and then you actually like fight him for real. He was not hard at all. Most like the humanoid bosses that aren't like fully coded, I guess, like Rellana, you know, like they're a boss. Most of the ones that are like supposed to be like kind of like player characters almost, like they're almost always easy. I played with the Great Katana. You can just like jump in R2 and it normally stuns all of them, and then you just jump R2 and then R1 and then does like the poke. And you just do that until they're dead. That's like most of them, dude. Like that's for the dancer, Red Bear. This guy was easy as hell. I don't even at low level, I don't see how that guy's ever difficult. Cursed Blade took no damage. Like he died instantly. Black Jail. A lot of people use this guy as an example of like teaching you that the things like the new world's hard. And he did two-shot me when we fought him. But again, I just jump R2'd and I beat him. It was so easy. Lamenter, same thing. There's a couple of these guys that are all just going in trash. Actually, no, Lamenter's down here because he was annoying. The stupid invisible thing, it was fine when like the Witches of Hemwick did it because they were like hobbled old witches, but they kind of suck. Black Knight Idrid, Black Knight Geru, they're just trash monsters. Falling Star Beast, kind of trash. Rakshasa goes a little higher than everyone else just because she drops the weapon that I used the entire game. Her Great Katana is actually sick. Is there anyone else who is just like a bad boss? I mean, there's a couple of like bosses that were like in dungeons that aren't too bad. Like the Demi-Human, that like kind of runs around like Yoda. He like jumps everywhere and he kind of has like the almost like 1,000 pentagram palms or whatever the freaking Neji move is. Neji. That's his name, right? I haven't watched Naruto in a long time. So he was kind of sick. The Blood Chief Fiend, terrible boss. Annoying to do, not cool lore, ugly as hell. Doesn't even like give you anything cool as well. So like actually annoying. Death Knight actually was kind of sick as far as bosses that like are just in a random dungeon. His little dash move is cool. He's probably in a B. If you don't get a cutscene or you're not like a real boss, you can't be above a B, I don't think. Unless you're like really fun to fight against. Death Knight version 2 kind of, he's just the same thing, so who really cares? The Demi-Human Queen is like the first boss that we killed at like level, like Scadu Tree level 1, or I guess it's Shadow Tree, someone said in a comment. It was not difficult at all, and it was just like a bunch of... I didn't know it was a boss at first, because I was just killing all the little dudes, and I just walked up, and boss bar appears, and it's like, well, okay, bro. Ymir, same thing, dude. Actually, a huge waste of time. Wait, Ymir is ass. No, he's ass. People have said that he's like okay because he's the end of like a storyline, and it's like the storyline's bad though too. Actually, he's so annoying, and he just spams spells like Sir Gideon. I hate this guy. He's probably like high F though, because the other ones are all trash. The bears were actually kind of cool. They kind of go like right underneath Rakshasa. I really like the bears. Definitely Rugalia was better. I think she was a bit bigger. Felt a bit tougher. Tree Sentinel, waste of everyone's time. I don't know why this is in the game. Yori, kind of the same as Ymir. just a spam boss, Witch of Hemwick kind of thing, like Lamenter. It's like literally Ymir and Lamenter like are the same guy. I should have just like started off the list with all these guys like where they are, because they all go there every time. It's actually so bad. But these are like the main bosses, I'm pretty sure. I might be missing one. No, these are all like the main bosses. Not all of them are a remembrance, but like I don't think the Hippo has a remembrance. F tier is just gonna be full. There's not very many more F tiers, but these are all literal trash. Like they're a waste of everyone's time. I don't know why they're in the game. Oh, I mean, they're in the game just to be fodder, but it's kind of like when you play like an open world game and you feel like you're almost checking things off of a box. Literally today, we went and killed mostly the things in F and E just to like finish all the bosses. Like not because they're actually interesting. Maybe things for specific builds, like Red Bear has like some beast claws. Maybe those are in like a build that you would like be interested in. The Black Knights have like cool like electric armor, or not the Black Knights, the Death Knights. They have like weapons that are specific to them, or I think 2 did, and then 1 had armor. I don't remember, but like these guys you're only finding because you're on accident. Like I said, Rakshasa's only up here because I actually used her weapon, but it's still the same. Just jump R2 and then they're dead. Like you just do that until they die and then dodge any of their moves. So now that we're getting into real bosses, I'm actually kind of zooming through these, but these will be a lot slower. Okay, Jagged Peak Drake actually is kind of trash too. It's just another dragon. It's literally just another dragon. Okay, they only did 1 of the Dragon Peaks because there's like a second Dragon Peak dragon, I think. Yeah. So both of those actually are F tier as well. It's literally just the same dragon. You walk up, you hit its feet, and that's it. I'm not gonna worry about ordering these guys really in F and E because who cares? We'll do them in the order that they're like in, whatever. I'm not going to pay too much attention. Senesax is like supposed to be like a super big fuck you dragon. It took me literally 0.5 seconds to go, this boss fight is stupid because she just has a bunch of AoE like electric moves and you're standing in water. So I just got on my horse and then just kept hitting her feet. And if you get on the horse and run away, she all of her moves are close. Like she even gets like big lightning spears and she only stabs her like right underneath her. So if you just run away and then whenever she's open, you run at her, and it doesn't take that long for her to become open because she just starts crawling at you, she just dies. This is a bad boss. It's actually like high E. That leads into Bale, who's the last dragon on the list, right? How many times did it take us to beat Bale? It was less than 5. Bale is epic looking. He's also kind of like the fantasy of like, often you go against a dragon and they're like either like super basic and boring, like the Dragon Peak, like I was saying. But this guy, he's like missing a leg and an arm. His arm, he like keeps on crafting into like electric spear basically and trying to stab you with it. And then he also is part of a quest line with Egon. He's actually kind of sick. I don't think he's A tier though, because his mechanics just aren't that interesting. I literally just stood by his like back left foot, like a little bit behind him. Every now and then I got hit by fire and they just died. He's A tier for like being an insane set piece. He also does fire and lightning damage, which looks cool as hell. I like him, but he's not S tier because as a boss he wasn't that engaging. I guess Furnace Golem is another one. It's kind of like trash. It feels like he's designed to just like you just kind of hit him and run away with your horse or like jump. It's not an engaging fight at all. It's an amazing set piece, but not. Actually, it goes over Senesax because it's a pretty good set piece. Divine Beast, Dancing Lion. Now, I got to Divine Beast, and I thought it was pretty hard. I don't know how many times we died to him. It was less than like 60. So compared to a couple of these other bosses that are like really hard, I think Divine Beast is pretty forgiving, but also is like pretty tough with a lot of his timings. His his ice phase and his lightning phase, I had to literally just go, I can't really do much during these phases. We did beat him without any cheese or anything like that. I don't know if there is cheese for Lion though, but like I found his combos to be kind of fun, but I did find that like the ice and the lightning phases were kind of bullshit. The lightning phase especially because it literally just puts down AoEs that like it's like, okay, you can't stand in that. So if the dude attacks you and then you're like anywhere near a lightning bolt, you still have to dodge. So it just like eliminates a lot of his windows, which is kind of just not fun. But the rest of him is fun. I'm going to put him below Bale. Commander Gaius, I'm not going to lie, this guy's not hard. Everyone's saying his hitboxes are crazy. I think unironically, this is the one boss I'm like, if you have trouble with him, I think it's just a get good angle. But also, I don't think he's very fun. He's not very interesting lore-wise at all. I don't know. I found no level of lore or story involvement in him, so he's like a high C. But he's not difficult as well. I feel really good because I learned his moveset pretty quickly compared to a lot of these other ones. Like Mesmer's like over 100 deaths. This guy's like, I think it was 21. Golden Hippo is dumb as fuck. I hate this guy. Golden Hippo was so annoying. like even when you learn all his moves, it's like, okay, slight delay dodge left, attack R1, delay dodge right, R1. He's one of the bosses that like definitely doesn't feel good because I was thinking about this. One of the reasons I don't think I like the bosses in the DLC is like there's almost never a point where you really just get to wail on them. And I know that like may fit into like the, oh, it's too hard, whatever, but it's like I think it's a huge sense of relief or like tension or whatever when you're in a boss and you just get to go, okay, now it's time for full combo. R1, 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 right? Or like R2, R2. But like none of the bosses really do that. And this guy's literally a giant fucking hippo, and you would think he'd be slow and be one of the few bosses that allows you to like really wail, and you just never get that. So I don't like him. Mesmer the Impaler, unironically, I think he's the best boss in the game. For me, he was very frustrating to play against, largely because he's got frame. His what's the term? Particle effects. That's the term. His particle effects like slowed my PC, and I died several times to it. But even then, I still think he's like the most fun boss. His phase 2 just looks crazy. His phase 1 looks crazy. I like Mesmer. He's my favorite. What if you beat them all at level 1? Well, if I beat them all at level 1, this list would look very different. I'm gonna be honest. The real challenge, 5 FPS. Actually, true, dude. All right, Metter. I don't know. I thought Metter was kind of underwhelming, but maybe more because of the story, less because of the boss fight itself. No, that's not true. Metter's could have, or Meteor, I don't know how her name is said. The Mother of Fingers. She could have been so much better. Even like with the title of like Mother of Fingers, she summons mobs in the game or in the fight, but like she doesn't really play around them in any meaningful way, and it's not really done good from a spectacle point. She kind of just poops them out, and it's only 2. It's only, literally, I just ignored them the entire fight. She kind of just poops out her babies, and then you just ignore them, and you just kill her. If I'm going to be honest, I actually found her less interesting. Oh, no, that's not true. That's a lie. I was about to say than the bears, but no, I don't think that's true. Definitely worse than Gaius. Gaius is more engaging. I don't know. I didn't find her interesting from a gameplay perspective. I understand that she like punishes you from like standing on the side. I did watch the Asmongold video before anyone comments that. Yeah, I did. I don't know. Like, it didn't feel like since a lot of these bosses like had chains that it really felt like you had to like memorize their directional inputs, and it felt like really rewarding to learn how the boss acts itself. It really, this kind of, she has like just one rule you learn is just don't stand at her side and just keep hitting her, and that's like the entire thing, and then you just kill her. So I don't think she's a very good boss. Better than Hippo though. Hippo's fucking sucks. Midir, Lord of Flame, definitely one of the coolest bosses. Visually, aesthetically, I found him very easy though. Like his combo is so simple. He just does like a little like flame throw thing, and then he does like left, right. He has a grab as well. He's just not hard. We beat him in 5. And yeah, sure. I had like level 19 Scadu tree fragments. So I was like a little strong, right? But I don't see how you don't learn his fight moves like super quickly. He's definitely above like the demi-humans and stuff. But I think as far as like fun and engaging mechanic, he's definitely way below Dancing Beast. But as a set piece, he's like really sick. But he's supposed to be the Lord of Frenzied Flame. And like, he's just kind of like whining when you run up to him, and then he goes, enough of this, and then he just pulls his head off and tries to kill you. And it's like, okay, I guess, whatever. I didn't really get like a sense of madness or anything from him. He kind of just goes, all right, I'm killing you now, and that's it. Putrescent Knight, boring. Like he's kind of cool because he's one of the few people that actually has like the left and right like dodge like memorization, but it's a cool aesthetic because he like summons up like horses out of like the weird purple muck you're in, which kind of is fun to watch. I like that a bit, so I think he's better than Hippo, but like he's still kind of boring. Okay, we're not going to do Radahn yet. Radahn is going to go last as the final boss of the game. He's going to be the final one we rated. I want to talk about Romina now. Romina is one of the few bosses that you fight her once and you go, oh, this boss is easy, and then you're right. Sometimes you fight a boss and you're like, oh, this boss is easy, and then you blink and 2 hours have gone by, and you're like, how come the first time I attempted this was like the best attempt? I don't understand what happened. Romina is just easy. However, fun. I think she was fun to fight against, which to me puts her in like high C. Sometimes it's nice to just have a simple boss. I wish there was like a cutscene or some explanation around her lore, She literally is standing in front of like the tree you have to burn down to get to Mikola. And it's like, okay, so she's defending the tree, but for some reason who is she? I have no idea. I mean, and you could say that's like a bit of like the lore behind Elden Ring and stuff, and maybe like, yeah, well they obscured like the lore or whatever. But like, I don't know. I really don't like Elden Ring's storytelling for the most part because of how active we are in a player in a lot of these quests. Like, we're not just like, oh, I'm trying to become Lord and therefore I'm doing like things. And so anything that like makes me Lord, I'm going to do, which is kind of like what's happening in like some of the Dark Souls games. Here we randomly, the story to the DLC is bad, I think, or at least its exposition is. Scadu Tree Avatar, not as good as it should be. I really do like the 3 phases that it has, and I do like that there's options on how to play it. Attacking it by the head is actually really cool because its head takes way more damage, insanely more damage, as well as between each phase, if you manage to get a crit on it, because like they fall over forward and you can get a crit on their head, it will make the next phase they have less HP, which is sick. I love that. I love that there's different ways to approach a boss, and I'm sure it's like weak against fire damage, so you could probably like buff your fire damage, and that's pretty cool. But the phases aren't very different. They're like nothing. They don't. I feel like it should have gotten bigger every phase, or and maybe it did. It wasn't noticeable. Or maybe every phase something should have changed. Maybe it should have been more alive at the beginning, and it became more decrepit as it went on. It sets up a promising with having multiple phases, and then doesn't capture on it. I think it goes right below Rellana. This is the one I was fighting against when the whole is Elden Ring too hard debate even started. And this is when I was like, holy shit, this boss is fucking hard, man. Apparently you can parry her. Apparently it's smart to use like lightning on her because she's standing in water. Fair enough. I guess I should have realized that before I fought her for like 170 attempts. Really cool boss, but definitely also sets in mind to me a feeling that the DLC sets of there's no breathing room. And that can feel just very intense. I really didn't like that feeling because also when I beat Rellana, I know I did a little pop off, but that tenseness, it doesn't feel like it just like dissipated, right? Like a lot of times when you beat bosses in Elden Ring or Bloodborne or Dark Souls, it's like, okay, I beat it, fuck yeah, and then you just like, whew, you can breathe. I feel like for me, it was just so long and intense. The entire fight, you're like kind of like tensed up. And then it kind of gets exhausting, and that's how I felt for most of this fight. And so when you actually do beat it, it's kind of just more of like less of like a breath of relief and more of just like I don't know how to explain it. Just kind of like okay, I'm done, which is like cool. She is really cool design wise. I wish there was like more lore or whatever. Probably like right below Midra, because there's one guy left. Radahn. I'm gonna be honest. As far as like lore components, it is dog shit that he's the end of the game. I'm glad that this fight exists, but I don't think it should be the end of the game. They should have gotten rid of the fucking Leda fight, or Leda, Needle, whatever Leda, and had Radahn as the penultimate fight. That's what it should have been, in my opinion. And then the final boss should have been anything else. Anything else. The fact that we're fighting a guy we've already fought, he doesn't even talk. He doesn't say anything, which maybe he shouldn't talk because it, like you want to have like that perspective of him in the original. But nah, I don't like that lore-wise that he's the final boss. It's annoying. Mechanic-wise, very fun, I think, but punishing. Very punishing. It's like brutally. I made a video talking about how the game's not hard. It's just like a lack of intelligence. And learning new things in this fight is really, really tough. Because any slight hesitation or mistake puts you on the back foot, and that back foot is you die instantly. And it sucks because he also has like the left-right cross move, which is almost undodgeable. I have not seen anyone consistently dodge it or meaningfully dodge it or have a strategy that I've been able to replicate. That move is stupid, and so you can get put on the back foot instantly. The hitboxes on the meteors can be a bit like unpredictable, so like it takes a long time for you to sit there and like actually like learn how to perfectly dodge that. Yeah, it is literally just like dodge to the left or right after like running, sure, but it doesn't feel like it takes a long time to learn it because it's not visually intuitive. But his second phase is also bullshit because you can't see through Miquella's hair. The entire screen gets covered with Miquella's hair. The freaking light goes everywhere. Actually, now I'm reliving through it. Visually, this boss sucks. But I really liked learning a lot of his combos, like his dodge right, left, and then back towards his butt when he does the little pull out of the ground. And then you can stab him. That's fine. Or you can eat the ground move and just hit him a couple of times. I beat him with the parry technique, which I think is actually dumb as hell. That's the difference between cheesing this boss and like fighting him earnestly is like actually fucking stupid. This might be controversial. I'm gonna put him like right below Rellana. Actually, I think there's only one S tier boss fight in this entire game. In this entire DLC. I think Bale and Divine Beast are actually kind of sick. This is my tier list. There you go, baby. These are all the bosses. Like, comment, subscribe. What's your favorite boss? So I'm such a fucking cringe YouTuber, dude.